Welcome to the ConGuy Comic-Con Prep Show. This week, Star Wars Celebration 2019 heads to Chicago. Or shall we say, the Mace Windu City. That's that pun I was telling you about. Oh. It's better than that. Anyways, we've got your complete guide to everything about Star Wars Celebration, and we have a review of last weekend's awesome WonderCon. Just stay tuned this week.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talks, the ConGuy Comic-Con Prep Show.
Loud that time.
Ben, what do you think? Is that better?
Oh, there's
it's coming
more.
back.
Wow.
Welcome to the ConGuy Comic-Con Prep Show.
Could they even hear the intro guy?
It doesn't matter. The music was so great.
It made it more intense, though.
Sounds like the
Welcome to the.
we are now sharing the soundtrack to Terminator. It's gone.
Terminator 9.
All right. Anyways, my name is Jim Frye. I'm your managing editor here at the ConGuy Comic-Con Prep Show. This week, it's all about Star Wars and WonderCon. We will talk WonderCon first, Star Wars second, and who is talking with us this week?
Hi, I'm talking with us this week.
Fantastic.
I'm Derek Sams. I'm a contributor to theconguy.com.
Hi, I'm Katie, also known as Sabrina this week, and I am a nerd and just consumer of cultures and convention goer, regular convention goer at this point, I guess.
Yes,
so,
you are.
Yeah.
I'm Ben. You can find me on all social media at BENKLIEWER because my last name's spelled weird, so I always have to spell it for people. And I'm not actually talking with you this week. I'm only projecting my voice directly into your brains.
That sounds great.
I'm Dr. Thomas Parham from Azusa Pacific University. I'm nicknaming myself Dr. Blurred. You can find me at Tom Dave LA.
And what is your name again? I'm sorry.
Say what?
The microphone was up.
Your
What's name?
microphone was.
Come on, Tom.
Yeah, there you go.
Dr. Thomas Parham from Azusa Pacific University, a.k.a. Dr. Blurred.
Dr.
You can
Blurred.
find me at Tom Dave LA, THOMDAVE LA.
Thomas, we are so glad to have you on the couch with us this week.
Thanks for having me.
So we're doing our handles at the beginning again now?
Go ahead.
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
I always am.
I'm Force Ghost Cheeseman on the couch here. You can find me on Twitter at Cheese on Couch.
You are quite pale.
As long as, I'm still alive.
Especially next
I'm
to
part
me.
of the Force.
So this week is all about Star Wars Celebration, which starts this Thursday. I know I'm flying out on Thursday. I don't know what day it starts. I just know what day my plane has been booked, and I'm coming back on Sunday. Tom, you're going?
I'm going. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Fantastic. I'll be looking for you there. Jake from the Jacoby, is that the Jacoby, what's his?
Jacoby system? or
Jacoby
something like
System
that.
will be meeting us up there at Star Wars Celebration along with some other friends. So hopefully you guys will be paying attention. But first, before we get into all the Star Wars stuff, let me just remind everybody we are going to be talking about WonderCon. We're going to be reviewing WonderCon. I think it was one of the better WonderCons we've had in quite some time.
Snaps.
And they did a great job. They did a great job on programming this time. Everything seemed to run smoothly, but we'll talk about that in just 1 second. But first, Ben, we have 3 minutes of Geek that we are going to go through right here.
Can I get a timer on the screen here in the studio, please?
All right.
Stand by. That's our producer, Steve, by the way.
Bye. Yeah, that's
Hi, Steve.
Oh, can we introduce Steve?
Please, Steve is also in the booth taking care of us, engineering us, making sure that everything runs smoothly tonight.
And operating with 8 arms with only 2 hands.
He is part octopus.
Yes. But anyways, I was going to just say what we're going to be doing is first we're going to do the Geek News. Then after that, Derek's going to go ahead and go into our bulletin board. Yeah. And then we're going to do something that we do every once in a while called ConGuy Buzz, where we talk about some of the stuff that we are getting into right now, that something new, just to introduce people to new things. And then after that, it's all WonderCon and Star Wars Celebration.
Right,
but first we're going to do our 3 minutes of Geek News. Ben, are you ready?
I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for 3 minutes of Geek News. 3, 2,
1.
Warner Brothers' release of new lines Shazam, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, delivered above expectations with $53.4 million for a cumulative total that stands at $56.7 million. Internationally, Shazam brought in $102 million. The film was well received by critics with 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, while audiences gave the film an A cinema score. Paramount's Pet Sematary remake of the Stephen King tale took in a strong $25 million in North America and $42.5 million worldwide, showing that horror is still a big draw. Jordan Peele's Us took in another $13 million. Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel hit the $1 billion mark last week, the seventh Marvel title to reach the milestone. It currently stands at $373 million domestically.
Nice.
Game of Thrones comes back this week on Sunday, April 14, and according to the UK's Daily Mail, more than 1 billion viewers in 170 different companies are expected to watch each episode in the 8th and final season.
That includes torrents and people who are
AMC.
stealing it.
AMC TV formally announced that it has picked up what is now the third in this Walking Dead's larger world with a 10-episode order for an untitled drama co-created by Scott Gimple and longtime flagship writer Matt Negrete. Is that right?
That's
it will
correct.
feature 2 young female protagonists and focus on the first generation to come of age during the apocalypse as viewers know it. Production will begin this summer in Virginia for a 2020 premiere on AMC. Avengers Endgame went on sale last week and caused widespread crashes to ticketing websites such as Fandango, AMC, Atom, and others. A spokesperson for Atom told CNN Business that Endgame sold 3 times more tickets on its site in the first hour of pre-sale than Avengers Infinity War did.
Be a big film.
Not only did Avengers Endgame take only 6 hours to crush a record for tickets sold within 24 hours, but ticket site Fandango has announced the film set its biggest single-day ticket sales record in the company's 19-year history.
Plenty of time.
Speaking of Avengers, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, is that how you say his
Feige.
name?
Feige, yep.
Feige. Says the studio already has a 5-year plan in place to tie its upcoming movies together. His exact quote as follows, quote, I will say all of the post-San Diego Comic-Con, post-Spider-Man Far From Home stuff, here's an exclusive. We're going to keep making movies. We're going to still keep making movies after these 2, and we will talk about them soon after Spider-Man Far From Home comes out. One thing we do know about the next phase of Marvel, however, is that it's unlikely to include the newly acquired X-Men that Disney secured with the $72 billion purchase of 20th Century Fox. Feige said it'll be a while. It's all just the beginning, and the 5-year plan that we've been working on, we were working on before any of that was set. 2 big geek holidays are hitting on the same day in less than a month. There is May the 4th, the semi-official Star Wars Day, and Free Comic Book Day. Both fall on the first Saturday in May this year, and in case you were wondering who would be hosting Saturday Night Live on such a momentous day, it's Adam Sandler, hosting the show for the first time in his career. A great way to kick off summer. 14 seconds to go.
If your listening skills were not as fast as Ben's speaking skills, we will have all that on the website as soon as the show is over tonight. There's a lot of news happening. Plus, a little bit more. Shazam was greenlit for film number 2. And then there was one other thing I was seeing. Oh, the little bit of news that Kevin Feige let slip. He said post-Comic-Con, which leads us to believe that Marvel will be in Hall H at Comic-Con this year. So that's exciting news.
There you go.
Is anyone else as
lot of
tired
things
as Ben? That just wore me out.
Wore me
Also,
out.
Did we just do a 15-minute show in like 5 minutes?
I know, that was crazy. I loved it.
Also, I'm getting married on May the 4th.
Yeah,
I was
gonna say,
wondering-
there's a big thing happening. You know?
A big triple holiday on May the 4th
Right?
this year.
And
And you'll never forget your wedding anniversary.
I know,
No.
right? By the way, we will, and I'm serious, be offering free comic books at our wedding on May the 4th / Free Comic Book Day.
I love the.
That's
I
very
love the
appropriate.
cosplay. Wait, the comic. What's your hashtag?
The Con Couple.
The con couple.
The con
couple.
That's
How
also the
crazy is
hashtag, isn't it? Also on Instagram.
It's
Oh,
our
it's-
Instagram account
Instagram.
as well.
All right. So they will be streaming live at the Con Couple. All right, Derek, we have some things on the bulletin board. If you can
Yeah,
run
we do.
us through those real quick.
All right, so some of the biggest and most influential comic book conventions in the coming year. And as we said, this coming weekend, April 11th through 15th, is the Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. And we'll be hearing about that from some of our friends. And then...
Your friend.
Okay. April 12th through 14th is Empire State Comic Con in Albany, New York. And the following weekend, April 19th through 20th, is Salt Lake Fan X in Salt Lake City, Utah. Then, next month, May 18th to 19th, is Comic Con Revolution in Ontario, California. And
Right up the road from us.
yeah, and July 17th through 21st is the big one, San Diego Comic Con. This is including the preview night, and that's 3 months away.
I think it's exactly.
that far.
Somebody tweeted today. It's 100 days from today.
Oh,
Today's the
wow.
100-day countdown to San Diego Comic Con.
And nothing about hotels
I
still
know,
yet.
I know.
right? Yeah. I'm surprised by that.
You have
And-
one more?
Yeah, one more fun one. This is not comic books, but it's
Fandom.
yes, it's. Wait, this you said as a special salute to Supernatural's final season, but it's the official.
Oh my gosh. Don't read what I
Sorry,
read what I meant to
okay,
say.
Okay, I was just okay.
Read what Jim
May
meant
4th
to
and 5th,
type.
we were just talking about how that's Star Wars Day, it's Free Comic Book Day, it's Ben's wedding, but also that weekend is the official Stranger Things convention. And I cannot pronounce the names of New York City.
Secaucus.
Secaucus,
Yep.
New York.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot
know
going.
more about
You
that.
want to know how I know how to pronounce that? Because of a TV show. Just saying.
That's how I learned to pronounce things.
And
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
think TV isn't educational.
Yeah, I mean, if you just read books, you don't know how to pronounce things, right?
Solid point.
Do you know what's interesting is like happening at the same exact time, I think, as Star Wars Celebration. It's the Supernatural convention is happening.
Coming up. I know it's.
Okay.
I think it's in Chicago the same time.
I know they have a big
Seriously?
one coming up.
Yeah.
And it is their final season coming up, too, correct?
Finally.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. And then there's one
Canceled
other.
before its time.
And then they have another big event happening. Chicago's really getting a lot of love this year, so which is really cool. All right,
Because Chicago's a dope city. Some would even say it's a hell of a town.
I can't wait. I can't.
No, New York's a hell of a town.
There's a bunch
Chicago's
of
a
towns.
hell of a town.
It's a toddling town.
a toddling town. I
Is
don't
that
think
how
we're
the
talking
song
about
goes,
the same
man?
song.
You know, it's cool.
Okay.
April
Jim's
12th
home
through
place.
April 14th. So yeah.
Exactly the same
Yeah.
time in Chicago.
Chicago. You finally get to say Chicago.
Chicago.
Like you've been
I'm
in
from the
Chicago.
Chicago area, Rockford, Illinois, to be exact.
Really?
My mother and father gave birth. Well, my mother gave birth to me.
My
Rockford,
father gave birth to me there. It was very
Rockford,
strange.
Illinois. It was a great time. But anyways, I'm from the area. I can't wait to get back up there. I do have family up there, but I probably will not be able to see them very much since I don't know my schedule yet. But all right, so we're going to do something right now that's we've done a couple of times in the past, but I think is a great time to do it. We're going to do something called ConGuy Buzz. We're just going to go around the table, and anybody who has something that they're kind of trying to start or something brand new that the listeners and the viewers might enjoy.
Or maybe something old that we're just newly into.
Yeah, something that we haven't been doing for a while. All right, we will start with whoever wants to start first. Katie, you look like you're trying to start.
Yeah. So I don't think I mentioned it yet, but Love, Death, and Robots. On
I was going
Netflix.
to mention that, too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just short little. It's in a like. Each episode is like 6 to 20 minutes, but they're all different. It's like it's anthology. Is that what it's called?
It's real
Yeah.
messed up.
It's brutal. There's some of it's kind of a little bit of everything though.
a
There's
lot of
comedies.
animated nudity.
Yeah, there's also comedy. There's also like humor.
It's really
and all
impressive
sorts of stuff.
animation,
Yeah,
too.
It's
all
really
different-
good animation.
Yeah, all different types of animation. I highly recommend that.
What's it called?
Love, Death, and Robots.
And where can we
on
find
Netflix.
that?
It's on
Netflix.
Yes,
Okay.
and there's 18 like basically short films.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically calling it. And then my roommate has a PS4, so I'm gonna start playing PS4 games that I've never played before. I
cool.
played NHL yesterday for the first time, so I'm excited to play that.
Nice.
In that same vein, I made a purchase from my local GameStop proprietor. And after the wedding, I'm going to take a little bit of time to myself and play Skyrim on my PlayStation 4, which I've never played before. I told my buddy, I was like, hey, dude, I bought Skyrim. He's like, cool. I'll see you in a couple months.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, also, I love the fact that Netflix basically took over the whole BBC Planet Earth franchise with Our Planet, and they got David Attenborough to navigate. I almost said narrated.
Navigate.
And
Both
so I will be falling asleep to that for the next several weeks as well.
Nice.
Awesome. I heart the magicians on Sci-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And Margot, played by Summer Bishel, is my spirit animal. She's just. Have any of you seen it?
Yes.
I've seen some of it. Yeah.
It's like if Harry Potter went to grad school and the language was R-rated.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a dark fantasy, but great ensemble cast, and just I heart Summer Bishel as Margot. She's the bomb.
And a little bit of a promotion. They do have an after show here for magicians here at the sister network to Popcorn Talk called After Buzz, where they have a lot of after shows you guys should check out. But Magicians is one of them.
Cool.
Do you have one?
Well, I'm looking forward to being part of the Game of Thrones crowd. I get to finally watch it as they're coming out. I just started watching this year, caught up with everything.
Better late than never.
Yeah, and then Harry Potter as well.
Yeah, we're working on
Got
you.
the-
I don't know if
Jump
I can
back
talk
on
to
that
you till
again.
you finish that.
Yeah, he's
like,
on.
legit.
What's the episode he's
What
on?
am I on,
He's,
Derek?
you've seen up through Goblet of Fire. We've got to watch Order of the Phoenix.
Harry Potter, did you
Oh,
put
that's-
your name in the
Rehash
goblet
That's
of
a
fire?
tough one.
I love that one. That's,
No,
Phoenix
it's
is
a
my
tough
favorite
one.
of the movies.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Order of the Phoenix?
Yeah.
Love that.
It's also, for my money, the most abbreviated from
Yes.
the text.
Cut out half the
Yes,
book.
because
Yeah.
it's the longest book and it's the
But
shortest
a really
movie.
great, it's a very well done adaptation, I think.
Anything else?
Those two things are,
Yeah.
are big goals for this year, I'd say.
And I have two. I don't want to steal yours though.
What you say yours, and I can sure I'll have something to share.
Okay, I am trying to figure out a way to borrow Twilight Zone. Because I don't have CBS All Access, but I want to watch the Twilight Zone episodes. They have not been well
Because I thought
reviewed
it was
as
supposed
yet.
to be free.
Well,
The
the
first
new
one.
ones?
The new ones.
Oh, I can tell you about the new ones.
What do you think about those yet so far?
It's part of my Jordan Peele. What the bleep are you doing?
Okay.
Oh, seriously?
Well,
okay.
Jim, the first
disappointing.
episode you can watch for free.
Okay, I'll
on
go watch
YouTube.
it.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah, it's
the one with
terrible.
Kumail Nanjiani.
It's
You can watch it on
mediocre
YouTube?
at
Yes.
best.
Okay.
The second
right.
one was good until the very ending. Oh, and then
I've
Tom
heard
has
that also.
opinions.
and
Tom
then they
definitely
did
has
not
opinions.
stick the landing.
Got opinions.
Ooh.
So,
But somebody on this couch happens to have the original series on Blu-ray. I'm just saying.
Cheeseman, do you really?
Well, they're
No,
also
Tom,
available
I
on
was-
maybe.
all the major streaming services.
Yeah.
Say what?
The original series is available on all the major streaming services:
Is it?
Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. Because I was looking at all of those, watching them this past
I
week.
like Blu-ray.
Yeah.
There's
Blu-ray's
someone on
great.
the wing. Something.
I will just say,
Adam Scott, isn't he doing that episode?
episode 2, it's Nightmare at 30,000 feet
Instead of
instead of 20,000 feet.
Yeah, 20,000.
Planes
It
Go
is
higher
a
now.
thematic sequel. They had to credit Richard Matheson's teleplay, but I have issues with the episode. It was better than the first episode until the ending. There is a tag that did not need to be there with
Okay.
the cheesiest.
Okay,
cheesiest
no,
it's
stop
on.
it.
I'm not going to tell you.
But stop.
I'm not going to tell you. It was so bad. I turned to my wife and I said, "Did he just say that?"
Okay.
Yes, he did.
I can tell you my expectations are so low, I'm going to like
Okay.
it more than you like it.
Today,
Probably. I also really
we've
like Adam
brought
Scott.
the toxic fandom
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
studio
Real-
with
okay,
us.
And
real
you're
quick,
imitating William Shatner. You're
I love-
imitating Ace Ventura, imitating
Right.
William
Anyways,
Yeah,
Shatner.
that's
real,
exactly
and
right.
real quick, the other thing that I was a big fan of season 1 of Legion. I started watching season 2 and I stopped on like episode 2. So I have an entire season 2 to watch because Legion is coming back super soon. Or is it back yet?
It's not back yet.
Okay, because they were at Wondercon
Yeah.
talking about to, and it's their final season, so I do want to get caught up in that. And I have the comic books, so I'm gonna get all into Legion here real soon. All right, Derek.
Okay, not something I'm newly into, but the final season of Game of Thrones premieres this coming Sunday,
It's fantastic.
April 14th. And
Yeah.
I'm wearing my T-shirt that has the Stark family drawn as a 60s folk band, which I'm very excited about that. As things that I got into recently, this is okay. King of the Hill in its entirety is on Hulu. I started
I
watching
love
it maybe like sometime late last year, and I've like it's just the thing that I put on when I'm caught up with my other stuff, and I'll just let episodes play for ages. And maybe it's the fact that I'm from West Virginia, which is like Texas's little brother or something. We're just as proud. And it's I don't know, because I understand Boomhauer when he talks, but
I understand Boomhauer too.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
That is.
but
That's
it's
awesome.
and like just appreciating this humor from the 90s that I was a little too young to really get at the time.
was it the 90s?
Yes.
Was
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
90s
Oh, yeah.
into early 2000s. It was
The
like
follow-up to
13
what was the
seasons.
previous one? The previous cartoon that they did?
Mike Judge,
My Judge.
Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis
Yeah.
and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead, yeah.
And you could see some
Office
similarities
Space?
in like
Yeah.
some of the way the characters are
Propane
drawn.
and
Anyway,
propane
that is something that I got into somewhat recently as far as talking about things that we come into late. But yeah, I can really appreciate that comedy now. Oh, the 90s.
My last one, because I don't want to hold. You know what I got into this past
Yeah.
year because you guys were such big fans, and
You're
now
welcome.
I love it. Bob's Burgers. Wow, I love that.
I just
shit.
watched that with my
Bob's
wife too.
Burgers.
Yeah,
It's
it's
great.
fun.
Oh, I
It's
love Bob's Burgers.
That's what, like,
It's so good.
so smart. I love that show so
so
much.
smart.
All right, we are going to move into our WonderCon discussion. So right now we're going to go around and we're going to talk about the highs and maybe some of the things that could be improved about WonderCon. But I think it's mostly highs. We were all on a high this time. So I'm going to start though. I'm going to throw it to Ben because there was we had the Con Guy show. We had a really big high. And what was
Oh
it?
yeah.
Ben?
Oh well, you guys
Cheeseman on the couch
Cheeseman
mainly put it together.
Cheeseman on
produced the
couch.
ConGuys' first panel at a major comic book convention.
With help from our 7th panelist, Bradley E. Young. All right.
And thank you, Brad, by the
Yeah,
way.
thanks, Brad.
And for our first, it's we're the little podcast that could. I kind of feel like because we don't have a huge reach. I don't know how many listeners we have.
Millions and millions,
By the way,
potentially.
hello to all you
500
listeners out
live
there,
right
and
now.
Yeah.
by the way, thank you so much.
Thank you so
because
much, guys, for listening,
The,
yeah.
the only reason we can do this week after week is because you keep coming back and listening. And by the way, my friend Gwen, who I think you met at the picnic, she's now an avid listener. So shout out to Gwen.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thanks,
Go
Gwen.
She's
Gwen.
she's literally like, I went back because she knows me, like I'm the main connection. So she's like, I went back to the first time you were on the podcast, and I've just been listening to all of them since then.
amazing.
Like in the
Nice.
car on our way to work.
You know,
and
we
stuff
did the
like that,
podcast
so
for a while before you were on.
But
Sure.
it wasn't as fun.
it didn't exist. Anyway, it did. Nothing existed before me. But the Power Rangers panel we did, I was so impressed because we walked in there, and this is like a 600-person capacity room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
It was 635 to be exact.
yeah, there you go. So I was like, okay, we're a little podcast. We're gonna host a panel. It's gonna be like a broom closet, you know, like
That's what I thought we were getting.
we're gonna get like it's gonna be some chairs set up in the hall outside of a, you know, and when we started, it maybe was between a third and a half full already,
Around a third. Yeah.
which is impressive as a baseline.
a couple hundred.
But as we kept going, more people began to trickle in
Yep.
and trickle in. And it was a really fun panel because what I really tried to do was just get in. I asked a few standard questions, and then I just really wanted to get in and let them talk and talk about their experience, because that's what people were there for. And it was also really touching because I was 9 years old when the original Power Rangers came on TV, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
And for those who don't know, we did a retrospective 25 years of the Power Rangers, and Ben was the moderator. We had 6 of the Power Rangers on the panel.
Right. Well, it was kind of a retrospective. It was more like, here are the Power Rangers we have on the panel, ask them questions.
Yes.
Like, we didn't really go through it's, you know, I could say it was a retrospective where we had like clips from all the seasons and that sort of thing. But it was really like we had, how many Rangers did we have? 6? We had 5 Rangers who have all been on the show in the last 4 years, and then one guy from 2002 who was awesome, by the way.
Jack
Guzman,
Guzman. It was
was
great.
amazing. And his answers were perfect because you could tell the younger kids who were more recent actors on the show, they like grew up with this, and Jack was on the show in 2002. He was too
Before
old
social
to
media even.
Yeah, he was too old to have started watching Power Rangers as a kid. So
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
know what was going on. And he literally, I was like, what was your experience with the show? He's like, I don't know, man. I saw a couple episodes. I thought they were dumb. So, but my agent sent me in to get the audition. So I was like, okay.
My favorite thing with Jack Guzman is when all the Power Rangers were telling what they had to do, the athletic prowess they had to have. So-and-so had to do flips. So-and-so had to do this. They had to run. They had to do this. What did Jack have to do?
He's like, I just took my shirt off, man.
He got the part.
Yeah, and he got the part. And my personal favorite part was I asked the question, like, which of the Rangers at this panel do you think would win in the fight? Keep in mind that Guzman got the role simply by taking his shirt off. But that was fun. But they had a really great answer because they're like, we would all team up to
Yep.
fight the common enemy, you know. And
Yeah.
And it was great
Which
because
was a
towards
great
the end of the
answer.
panel, the room really did start getting a lot more full. I mean, I'm not going to say, we had 630,
It was
whatever.
a tricky time to have it on Friday at 7 o'clock.
Friday
It
at
had
7.
been Saturday,
But-
you know.
And you're
like-
competing against a screening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was the screening we were competing against?
Justice League versus Fatal 5. I'll
Which
talk about it.
I would have gone to that screening
but
if we didn't have a panel.
we might have
or Screen
had-
Junkies was then, too.
We might have had a few hundred, maybe 400 people in there by the
Yep.
end of it, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a great panel. And then at the end was great when everybody... You had 100 people coming forward and trying to get autographs and meeting everybody.
Yeah, and just the questions. We took questions from the audience, and to see grown men come up there and talk about how much this program has meant to them, and some of them are still watching the show up until now. I quit watching the show years ago, but I still like respect that, and I can understand being a nerd, you know, how that can really affect you, because that kind of stuff still affects me in different ways. You know, I'm not watching Power Rangers anymore, but it's something else, you know, now. It's still Star Wars for me. I watch Empire Strikes Back, and it gives me some kind of feeling, you know.
Chills.
And so it was just amazing to be part of that and to talk to the actors and be able to help them relay their experience to the crowd and be able to truly moderate between people asking questions from the crowd.
And I'm
going
to say this in front of everybody. Ben did a kick butt job.
Aw,
You did an
thank you.
amazing
Yeah.
job. Like we were talking about, like, wow, Ben is just flowing with it. It was great.
It's very
Oh.
rare in like the non-adult swim rooms to have the feel of just a fun panel. Where
It felt like an
everybody's
Adult
just
Swim
jumping
panel.
around. It felt like an adult swim,
Oh.
like in the
But a much more
room at
kid-friendly
Comic-Con.
show for the
Yeah.
Right.
discussion. Yeah.
Well, thank you, guys. That means a lot.
And thank you so much for doing such a great panel. And we're putting up a post this week with a lot of clips from the panel, a lot of pictures from the panel. Ben's going to give us a little write-up. And So we're really looking forward to that.
Although this was obviously the best panel there were some others across the weekend we should probably talk about.
All right, let's go around and see what else you guys enjoyed. Katie? No, I'm sorry, Derek.
Derek can go.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, I was gonna mention there was. Oh man, there were so many I didn't get to see. I spent a lot of the afternoon on Saturday just in the arena. So we saw the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel.
That was a good one.
Which was really entertaining because that cast, there's so much banter between them.
Yeah,
Which that was so much
always.
fun last year.
Yeah.
And then they went ahead and just showed the whole first episode of the new season, which was
wow.
directed by Clark Gregg. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we stuck around in there for the Warner Brothers New Line preview. So we saw clips of Godzilla and Shazam, and then the cast of Shazam.
Godzilla thing looked amazing.
Did
People
it?
Yes.
were having nerdgasms.
Yes,
at that
I was
footage.
one of those people.
That was-
yeah.
That was a good time. And then, but like, the coolest thing for me about the whole time that I spent there, I was there with a couple of friends who had never been to a convention before. One of whom had been wanting to go to something like this for a very long time, and the other who had never heard of WonderCon until I brought it up to him. And so the two of them,
What? Are you kidding me?
Morgan?
I had to explain to him what it was, but he had a great time. And our other friend Rachel, who had never been, she's very nerdy. She's really
I'm
into
glad
D&D.
you brought them up. That was,
They loved it, and I had so much fun with them going to things for the first time, walking the floor, and having being able to discover things with fresh eyes. I
Taking
always
a kid
love
to
that
Disneyland.
at a convention. Yeah.
I actually only went to one panel because I was only there on Saturday because of all the other stuff I had to do last weekend.
Boo.
But I had a photo shoot with a photographer from Toronto, like an actual photo shoot that was just, I paid him and then he edited photos to me. He got them to me on Monday, and his
Wow.
flight got back into Toronto at Sunday night. I was impressed
What
by
were you
that.
cosplaying as?
I was cosplaying as Glaceon, as done by this one artist called Little Paper Forest, and I did it for Long Beach Comic Con, but I kind of just added some more bling to it, and I posted those pictures on my Instagram. And then
Which
we had
is?
Katie's Fairy Tale.
Go check
then
this out.
on Saturday, after I did that, we changed into our new cosplay for the day for this, which was a parody of an SNL skit. I don't know what I'm allowed. If I'm
You can
allowed
say
to,
it.
You can
I
say
say
it.
it? Okay, so we did a parody of Dick in a Box, but we did Tits in a Box. It got a lot of laughs. A lot of people kind of being like, "Is it weird if I ask for a picture?" I'm like, "No, because you're asking." There was
Yeah.
a lot of guys who were very
Katie
very
was,
aware.
by the way, Katie was fully dressed. It was not lewd at all.
Well, yeah, no, because that's how the sketch is. But everybody got it, and a lot of people got it. A lot of people were like, "This is so great! I got it right away." So it was definitely the most fun I've ever had cosplaying. I know we'll break them out again probably at San Diego Comic Con with a few changes and stuff. But it was also super comfortable for the most part, so that was fun. And then hanging out after the con on Friday night. I've never really experienced nightlife after the con, and it was so much fun.
We had a blast.
So much fun.
Yes.
Yes.
That is part of the thing about conventions is the nightlife. After the convention hall closes, you go out and just let your nerd flag fly with
And
your
it did.
fellow nerds. And
geek
perhaps
I know. With
Yeah.
people in costume, it's great. You get to still see people in their costumes from the day and just hanging
perhaps
out.
imbibe in an adult beverage.
We don't do that.
Not Jim.
And no
Not an adult beverage. He has
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, Jim doesn't indulge in an adult beverage.
Mom, don't listen. Don't
He
listen.
indulges in all the adult beverages.
in no particular order, the Justice League versus Fatal 5 world premiere on Friday night. It is the return of the two Bruce Timms DC animated universe. Kevin Conroy, George Newbern, and Susan Eisenberg reprise their voice roles from Justice League Unlimited.
Wonderful.
And it was the first time we've been back in that particular animated universe.
Nice.
It's a great story. It deals with trauma and mental illness.
Wow.
The Justice League, the Warner Brothers animated films, they're pretty adult usually. Not nasty adult.
No,
but
no,
mature.
but they just don't. Jessica Cruz is a trauma survivor, and it's one of the opening sequences. She has a nightmare about what happened to her before she joined the Green Lantern Corps, and then she's having a hard time getting out of bed, and she blows up Wonder Woman's call to come to a league thing. So Wonder Woman shows up and starts fighting her, and she's like, "I just can't do this." It's like, "You're doing pretty good to me. Don't ignore our calls." And then they bring the Fatal 5 and Starboy travel from the future, and Starboy in the comics deals with mental health issues, and he doesn't have the meds in this century, so But he sees the Fatal Five on TV, and his powers start manifesting. And Batman's like, "Thomas, you didn't tell me you had powers." But it's a great story. The DC Universe panel, Friday was great. They
DC Universe, the streaming service.
the streaming service.
Right.
They previewed they gave us the teaser trailer for Swamp Thing, which drops at the end of May.
Oh.
Nice.
It's dark, gothic horror.
Wow.
Southern Gothic horror
Nice.
is how Mark Verheiden
And is it live action?
describes it. Oh yeah, live
Okay.
action, and it's gonna be good. I mean,
I'm very intrigued by it, but I don't know if I want to pay for another service.
How much
That's
is-
the problem.
How
Yeah,
much
there's
is
too
the
many
streaming service for
services.
DC?
I bought they gave you 3 months extra, so you got 15 months for 1 year price last year, and a free T-shirt at Comic-Con. So
Oh,
How
if
much
there's
it-
a T-shirt
How much is it for
involved.
free? I mean, how much is it for the year?
I want to say it's like $75 a year or something like that.
Okay.
It's not ridiculous.
If you break it
They
down.
also had their own screening to Shazam that they gave tickets away for
Right.
on Twitter. Yeah.
Right. And then they showed the whole episode of Young Justice season 3.2, the second half, which drops in July, which is good. I mean, the Young Justice on DCU is a little darker than Cartoon Network version, but it's really good. Same continuity.
Okay.
And then also the Batman 80th
Yeah.
birthday party was great.
80 years of Batman. Did they
I
have
didn't make
cake?
it in. Did you see
They
the
did.
video?
Yeah, they had
They
cake.
did have
Yeah.
cake.
Did
Was
you
Michael
see
Keaton
the
there?
video of the animation of the
Batman
birthday
dancing
cake?
animation?
Our friend Isaac, who's been on our
You
show,
know
did
Isaac
it.
would be? He's been in here before.
Probably.
Yeah, I
But
think you
he
probably
did
know.
the video that was revealed there that
Warner Brothers-
had Batman looking at the cake and inspecting it, the little animation.
He was on
They
our
produced
show
it,
for
supposedly.
our Comic-Con wrap-up show. He was in here
Yeah.
and talking about he had just met with them, and they
They
hired him to do that,
yeah.
which is fantastic. They're using it for the 80th birthday.
My favorite moment from the panel was when David Mazouz from Gotham is all the panelists were asked how old were you when you got into Batman? And he's like, oh, I got into it when I was 4 or 5. And Diedrich Bader says, oh, those bygone days of 2009 or 2005.
I really
and then
like Gotham.
And then Lee Merriweather reached over and patted him.
Oh, she was there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it was a great panel.
Fantastic. Cheeseman.
Oh, she was there. That's awesome. She's such a nice lady.
She's sweetie.
1/3 of the Catwoman Trinity.
I know.
Yeah.
You know one of the Catwomen really well.
Yeah, that's the one who I've met.
Oh,
I worked
Lee,
with her
okay.
on the short
You were
film
on
and
the short
stuff,
film
but
with her,
she's
okay.
awesome. But
I'm more
yeah.
of a Julie Newmar man myself. But
I didn't get to do much Friday. I did see a little bit of the Back
Talent
to the Future
relations
2.
all
Yeah, I was
day
doing talent
Friday.
relations all day, so I just got to see a little bit of the Back to the Future 2 panel.
How was
Then, what's that?
How was it?
It was good from what I really only saw like 5 to 10 minutes of
Oh.
it because I was running around trying to get everybody into the convention. Like 3 Power Rangers for Nico because I was trying to get them all to the end of the signing. Like, get in there. I'll go figure out the badge thing later. But it was fun though. And then Saturday got to go to the Boom Comics panel, which is always fun. Got to do Cobra Kai season 2. That was
Cobra
probably
Kai,
one of my
yeah.
favorite ones I went to. It was amazing.
It got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun at that one. Even got the little band to wear. If
Oh,
I
did you
wanted.
really?
I should have brought it with me. But also went to the Twilight Zone panel. That was pretty cool.
Was it the new Twilight Zone or the
The new one.
Okay.
Yep. Went to that panel. Then, like Derek, went to Shazam, and the Godzilla, and then there was a little thing, Fear of the Walking Dead. Somebody I know was like on the panel, so I went and bugged her and asked her a question.
We'll be posting that
Did
video.
you ask your cousin a question
Again.
again?
Yes, it-
Yeah.
So I have this ongoing gag, which is my own gag, which she probably doesn't like, where I just like
She's
speak
probably
up out of
dreads
nowhere,
Wondercon.
and then I ask
She
her a
probably
question
sees
that-
you. It's like, my cousin.
No, it's
For
always that
clarification.
reaction. She's like, this could get so much worse. And then, like, Jen Alpham's like, is that the same one from last year? Like,
Yeah,
and,
he's
like,
still my cousin.
Yeah.
It was so
But they
funny.
always like it, though.
Yeah.
It's
For
those little
clarification, Luke's cousin is on Fear the Walking Dead.
She plays
Yes.
the character
Maggie.
Al.
L, yeah.
Her name's Maggie Grace.
Maggie
Yeah.
Grace.
I think it's Al. A-L.
Okay, yeah.
Althea.
That sounds like a black woman's name.
But yeah, we'll be
Althea!
posting that video.
Come back
but
inside the house
we'll be
now,
posting the video.
girl.
It wasn't Chris Hardwick this time, so.
It was Yvette Nicole
that's
Brown,
good.
and she.
But she still had.
She was
still
good.
had
I
Oh,
fun
I'm
with
sure
it.
she loved it. I'm
If
sure
I do it at
she
Comic
loved
Con,
it.
she'll probably remember
She's a super
me.
Walking Dead
No,
fan.
she said your
Hopefully
name a couple
she's
times. She goes,
Yeah.
"Are you guys related?"
Yeah, she's like, is that your brother?
Yes, that was great.
And then the other thing I did is spend a lot of money on the floor. I bought like 4
Oh my
screen
gosh.
You did?
prints. Yeah,
I
spent
spent
like
nothing on
I
that.
spent
Me
like
too, I spent
$200 on screen prints because I was just like, Back to the Future 1, Back to the Future 2. Oh, those will look good together. And then I'm like, oh, but I really like
I
that
saw so many
Cantina
things I
thing.
kind of
And
wanted, but I ended up just buying
Yeah.
one thing, and it was a gift from my sister.
I had to stop buying
So
art
sorry.
prints.
I spent more money
Oh,
on
you
my
saw it,
I was
yeah.
like,
I won't
I'm
say it
doing
here in
pretty good,
case you
not
listen,
spending
but-
much, but I spent
Like,
more than I
don't say
ever
that.
did.
Yeah.
But I will
glad
bring
you said it,
pictures of
almost
it
did.
eventually to show on the show of what I got.
I
It
had
was-
to
it's
stop
worth it.
buying art prints like 2 years ago
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I just had too many. I've started giving them away. Like I've started giving them to Salvation Army because like I was just like I have too many. I don't have enough wall. You know.
Buy a bigger place.
That's okay.
I hope they weren't the $60 ones.
And as we-
or
we're gonna
if
have
you
to-
want to give me one of those for free, that's fine.
We're gonna have to like speed up this part right here.
Yeah.
But like for me, I love this Wondercon. I think the programming schedule was pretty spectacular. Tom, you
really
had a
was.
panel that you were in. What was your panel?
Everyone's a critic.
Yes.
Journalism in the online age.
We sure know Tom's a critic.
And briefly, what was that about?
He's got
Just
opinions.
basically dealing with the issues that people as critics deal with. Many of my female counterparts deal a lot with toxic fanboys.
Yep.
So
And I saw that not this time, but I think maybe 2 times ago. I saw it, and that was a fantastic panel. I was not able to go there this time because I actually one of my favorite parts of the weekend was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel, which was great.
Yeah.
But immediately after, I was part of the press pool, and sitting at the table interviewing Clark Gregg was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
that guy. It was so cool, and like
I
everybody.
have a man crush on him.
Oh, I do now too. And he's like, he has a presence about him that on screen he just seems like kind of like a cool little quirky guy. But he sat at the table, and of all, because it's called the round tables, all the different casts come and they sit with us and we get to talk with them. He had a presence which just commanded the room and commanded the table, and it was cool. Everybody was.
he is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., man.
He is.
Well,
And
he has kind of an old Hollywood star
Yes.
power
Yeah.
about
Yes.
him. Like
Yeah.
it's like talking to Clark Gable.
And it was
You know?
his birthday.
Yes, it was.
It was his
Yeah.
birthday. We won't say how old. I guess. Yeah. He's a lot older than what he appears on camera.
Yeah.
He's over 400 years old.
Yeah, I want to be him when I.
He also has died
grow
a
up.
couple times, you know.
It's true.
But like it was kind of
I
cool.
got better.
He comes in and everybody's like,
better.
"I loved you in Captain Marvel. I loved you this." I said, "I loved you in Sports Night." Remember him back in Sports Night?
Oh, yeah.
The last.
New Adventures of Old Christine.
Yeah,
he
but
was
like,
awesome.
and
Wow.
when I said I
Wow.
loved you in Sports Night, he yells out, "Quo Vadimus!" And then you guys got to go back and watch Sports Night to know what I'm talking about.
Nice.
It
Love Sports Night.
I made you watch it right after he said
I know
that.
what that means because I saw that episode.
I do love Sports Night.
Anyways, we had I was also on a panel called Full-Time Creative on a Part-Time Schedule. We will be talking about that more later because we're going to have those guys on the show and talk about that. But I do want to kind of like wrap up. Is there anything there is one other thing that stood out. Ben and his friends had a great after party just a couple blocks from the convention center, which was amazing.
What's the address for last?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep that quiet.
No, my friends David and Lindsay are wonderful, beautiful people,
Yes.
and they're not in the entertainment industry or anything like that, but they just love going to conventions. They love cosplaying. They're married and they live in Anaheim, and every year after WonderCon they host a little barbecue backyard get together, and it seems to get a little bigger every year. You know, there were probably over the course of the evening they probably had between 80 and 100 people come through that backyard.
But it's a beautiful
Probably 200 hot dogs.
backyard, and like everyone's still kind of dressed in their WonderCon attire,
cool.
and it's
Oh, and they live in this great little mid-century
Yeah.
neighborhood there in Anaheim that was like built, you know, maybe 5 years before Disneyland opened. You know, it was built in the early 50s, maybe late 40s, and it's just this cute little mid-century neighborhood, classic Americana, and they're slowly turning their backyard tiki. I don't know if you noticed like the skulls
Yes,
and the
I
tiki
did.
torches they had sitting back there, but it was
Tiki is
yeah.
all the craze, and I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, we are going to switch gears now. We're going to a galaxy far, far away. It is the very final Star Wars celebration of the Skywalker saga, which means the 9 films of the George Lucas originally envisioned as the Skywalker saga are coming to a close. And it's pretty exciting. I hope they end these well. But myself and Thomas are both going to be heading up to Chicago this week, April 11th through the 15th at McCormick Place in Chicago. It's completely sold out except for Monday. And Star Wars Celebration. So we're going to go through a couple of the panels, a couple of the exciting things, and we will have some predictions. You guys jump in where you can. Thomas, I do have a question, though. The one thing that was kind of confusing me is that at Star Wars Celebration, you have, for all the giant panels, and we'll go over them, what is it? How do you get in?
You have to enter a lottery
For every single
for
one.
every panel in the main hall, their equivalent of Hall H.
They have no standbys waiting for any
Wow.
of those panels.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing
is
like spending
interesting.
all that money on the ticket and flying out and buying a hotel room. And I didn't get into the big hall.
But they do have different overflow rooms that you can kind of
Watch on
it.
monitors and whatnot.
Or the Star Wars show at StarWars.com will be streaming all those panels live, and you'll be able to see them all weekend.
Oh, that's
Which
nice.
I would have been able to do at home.
Exactly.
Much more cheaply.
Let me go over those panels real quick, and then we'll kind of jump into them. On Friday morning at 11 o'clock Chicago time is probably perhaps the biggest panel of the weekend.
Episode 9 panel.
They'll be at which time? What do you think is going to be revealed in that panel?
The full cast, the name,
The name of the
Yes,
movie.
I know.
teaser
Title.
trailer.
The trailer, name, and cast. So that's going to be a big panel.
I have a prediction.
Yes, what's your prediction?
Episode 9 is going to be a supernatural thriller about the ghost of Anakin Skywalker systematically murdering everybody in the film franchise, starring Hayden Christensen.
I had another prediction, and I was telling Cheeseman the other day, and I was getting teary-eyed for stupid, like trying to imagine what the end of this is going to be.
I want Hayden Christensen in it. I want him in it.
Seriously?
I seriously want Hayden Christensen in it.
He's going to be there Monday for the 20th anniversary of Episode 1.
Yeah, Episode 1 has a big presence at the Star Wars Celebration this year. But
May 19th,
Well, let's go
1999.
over the specifics real quick, and then we'll give our predictions because we promised everybody watching the show we would give the information. So the big panels are at 11 o'clock at the Celebration stage. On Friday, it's Episode 9. On Saturday, it is
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge, the brand new 14-acre lands that they are the expansions at both Walt Disney World in Florida and at Disneyland in California. And then on Sunday morning,
The Mandalorian.
which is the brand new series, which will be on Disney streaming, hopefully this fall from
Disney
John,
Plus, I think you mean, Jim.
Disney Plus. Yes, I need
In
to
the
get-
future, all streaming services will have Plus on the end.
I know Apple Plus,
Apple TV
Plus, ESPN Plus.
And they will all be owned by Disney.
Well, let's not say that. So that's Sunday is the Mandalorian, and then Monday morning is.
That's the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary celebration.
So those are the 4 giant panels. There are some smaller panels. Do you remember what they are? I mean, by the way, the entire list will be at StarWarsCelebration.com. But the celebration page, the celebration panel stage has the largest panels. They also have a.
Well, just some of these conversations sound cool, like the different actors they've got in there, like conversations with Warwick Davis,
Yes.
conversation with Alan Tudyk,
Yep.
and then they go on the Galaxy stage, 5:15 on Sunday, Anthony Daniels, which for people who don't know, that's C-3PO.
He's been there since the beginning.
And that guy literally, he actually wore a suit.
Yes.
He was that skinny.
He still is that
He
skinny.
still is that
Okay, I
skinny.
assume he still is that skinny.
Yeah, he
but,
still
like,
plays C-3PO.
And he's still British, too.
Wow.
What? He didn't grow out of that? 5:30
Can you
on
grow out of that?
5:30 on Friday, making Solo. I loved Solo.
I like Solo a lot.
I really loved Solo.
Yes.
I liked
I
it
think
as a
Solo
friend.
gets a bad rap.
Solo
I do too.
absolutely gets a bad rap. Very unfair.
And I still want my Darth Maul follow-up.
Me too.
What? Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of a spoiler, but no more.
No,
Dude, the movie's been out for a while.
It's been out for a while.
Solo,
but,
yeah. Darth
but that
Maul.
was also led up to from, was it Rebels? No, it was, it was
Yeah.
Rebels.
Yeah,
It was
Rebels.
Rebels where they follow that storyline of Darth Maul becoming, a mob boss. Or
Right.
Maul.
With those
He's
legs.
not Darth
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Those electronic legs.
And then he gets he gets 2 legs.
Right.
He had
He gets regular
crab legs.
Android legs.
Right.
So also on the celebration stage on Friday. So Friday, is there anything on Thursday?
Nothing really good.
It's kind of just like getting there, the floor, and so so have you've been to the celebrations
Nope.
before? This is your first celebration.
First time.
I went to the one in
Anaheim?
Anaheim.
I went to the one in Anaheim.
Which-
That's where I got this hat.
Yes, and
Which is an X-Men hat, oddly.
You got it. Oh, well, that's
It's
nice.
It was at the
all
t-shirt-
owned by Disney.
It was at the T-shirt tower.
Did we own it?
You know,
Yeah,
where they
I
have
remember
all the
that.
nerdy stuff.
I mean, did they? Anyways, so what's interesting is that was the celebration where they first debuted the trailer, the Chewie We're Home trailer, and you talk about 5,000 people standing up, hugging and crying, and grown men weeping in the aisles. That was that time, and then they showed it twice, and it happened all over again. I'm hoping
Did you
there's.
cry at watching people cry?
I don't know. I was crying, but I'm so hoping
say
that
what triggered it?
that be on the lookout. The trailer will most likely drop it towards the end of the 11 o'clock Chicago time panel on Friday. So that's whatever time that is. Out in California, it'll be around 10 o'clock in the morning. Back east, it'll
No,
Well,
it'd
if
be
it's-
9 o'clock over here.
Oh, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, if it's
Well,
No, it's gonna
if
drop
it's
at
towards the
11.
end,
if it's toward the
noon.
end,
if it's towards
okay,
the end,
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be close
10
to
o'clock.
noon.
10 o'clock here.
Central Time, which is 10 o'clock here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
What a gift to us waking up.
Chewy.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
We're home.
you don't wake up till. Jeez.
Not 7. Definitely not 7. Somewhere after 9. You know?
But also on that day, there's something called Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series.
That's the VR thingy.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
sounds
really
cool.
interesting as
Something
well.
tells me it's going to be a really long line for something. Is it a panel or is it a?
It's a panel.
Oh,
It's a panel about
okay.
it.
It's,
Gotcha,
it's
okay.
also on the celebration stage. I
Gotcha.
don't know if that one's streaming though. I'll have to look at the schedule to see. I like the name of the stages. There's the celebration stage. There's the Twin Suns stage.
The
There's
Galaxy
stage,
Yeah.
which is where Making Solo will be on Friday. What about Saturday? There's also a really cool panel at 12:45 in the Galaxy stage. It's called Remembering Star Wars Rebels. Did you guys watch Rebels?
I did.
That's a pretty amazing series.
I
don't you think?
haven't, but I will. Binge
I haven't
it.
I
seen
want
the end
to.
of
It
it,
looks.
Oh,
looks really
it's good.
interesting.
It was sad.
It ended sadly.
little sad.
I can't wait to see it. And Rebels
But
was
good, sad.
Good sad.
Good, sad.
Now, wasn't it based right before the
I mean,
big...
somebody doesn't make it, but
Oh, stop!
Well,
Oh,
He's the worst at keeping secrets.
If
I mean,
somebody
I was
doesn't
thinking
make
that
it,
direction would go.
if you can't figure out in a movie that somebody you care about is not going to make it, shame on you.
I know, JJ
and
kills off
Bambi,
everybody.
a cartoon, somebody did.
So Tom is terrible at giving spoilers, and he's also terrible at apologizing for them because he
Yes.
just tells you how stupid you are for not having already guessed it.
Anyways, Tom. But
Rosebud is a sled.
How dare you?
Okay. Anyways, so Rebels, what's the time period of Rebels?
It's pre episode 4.
Pre-episode 4. And
We get to see a young Leia, and
It's leading up to.
yeah, it leads up to the events of episode 4, but it's got a really solid arc. It starts up. My biggest season 1 is a little kiddified, and as they went on, it's like, oh, we don't have to. This is our audience. We can kind of not.
well, it's kind of like Clone Wars did.
It gets progressively darker.
So it's worth going back and watching all
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Emma Fife, who used to be on the show with us here.
I know Emma.
Yeah,
yeah.
she did the AfterBuzz show for Star Wars Rebels. Here at the Sister
I
City.
And
remember
they referenced it in Rogue One too. There was the ship from Rebels
What was the
appeared
ship?
in
What
Rogue One.
was the name of the ship?
It all fits together.
From Rebels. Yeah, they
I'm
talked about
blanking on it. I can picture it.
But another big panel that you mentioned it, was it you or somebody? Alan Tudyk. He's going to be talking about
Yeah.
being K2 in Rogue One.
K2SO.
K2SO.
K2SO was a great
Yeah,
show.
just like in Rogue One, when the droid dies, you know it's not going to end well.
And let me tell you, Alan Tudyk is like the funniest guy. Like he's been in so many
Yeah.
movies. And have you guys seen his series, which is seriously close in name to ours, Con Man?
Con Man.
Yeah.
I was on Con Man.
You were on Con Man?
Yeah, I did background work on
You
it.
were on
pretty
Con
cool.
Man, and
Yeah.
now you're on Con Guy.
Right?
You're a con all around, man.
Yeah.
I'm an all-around con.
I had to
Is your
do-
next one Convoy?
There, yes, Conboy.
I
That's
had
going to
to-
be my sub podcast of this
I
podcast.
love that. I had to do an interview with I had to do an interview with him one time, and it was the phone interview. And it was so funny. He was in his manager's office, and while he's in the office, he got kicked out of his own office, and they're like, he's like, what? I'm doing. And he went next door to this other office, and while he's there starts being hammering on the wall. And he goes, "Will you shut up? I'm trying." And then he kept on getting kicked out of everywhere. He goes, "I have no respect here." And it was the longest interview because it was great. Anyways, let's wrap up.
You want me to 3-minute the exclusives, 3-minute style?
We don't really need to go.
We
with-
could just say
Maybe
there
at
are a lot
30
of cool
seconds.
exclusives.
There are more
There
Geeky
are.
And
Tiki
you
mugs
can
coming
just-
out,
Yeah.
which I already own the full set of Geeky Tiki's Star Wars themed, so I need these.
Hasbro Black Series figurines, official T-shirt.
Black
Phantom-
Series
Phantom
are
Menace
action
hat.
figures, not figurines.
I'm getting that Boba Fett.
Excuse me.
The Boba Fett lunchbox, the tin lunchbox that is coming out. I'm super excited about that. And the tiki mug of the Rancor monster with the smaller tiki mug, the mini mug of Luke in his hand. That's what I want to
great.
get.
That sounds like a great idea.
I want to get that. And there were tons. There's the I think what you're talking about, the Millennium Falcon bowl. Tiki
yeah, I
bowl.
want all of them
It's kind of
I've-
like a scorpion bowl. but
I've
it's
already got
Millennium
like the
Falcon.
full like 15 to 20 set
you?
mug set.
Do you
and
have
then
Jabba?
I've got Jabba and Salacious Crumb. It's a giant Jabba and then a little Salacious Crumb tiki shot glass. It's awesome.
Is there any?
I just want the Lando Calrissian Hawaiian shirt. Is that too much to ask?
Oh, it looks great. Yeah, the big, and we're gonna put a lot of these on the website as well. Hey, Tom, what kind of predictions do you have? Is there any predictions? Are there any predictions? I mean,
Nothing. I have no idea. I've never been. I have no idea.
what about you guys?
Supernatural thriller starring Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader's ghost, systematically murdering everyone.
I predict we will get the trailer. I think we will see episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
I'm surprised. I wonder if we'll get some kind of tribute to Carrie Fisher.
They did it the last celebration.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill did it himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking of which, I think Mark Hamill will do something's going to happen. He can't be held back.
people are gonna go wow when they see the footage of her in the trailer, though.
Well, and Mark Hamill showed up at WonderCon too, as a surprise, which I thought was a cool thing because that kind of thing happens at San Diego Comic-Con, but not usually at WonderCon.
Yep.
So we're getting more of that kind of big announcements.
By the way, speaking of Clone Wars is there because there's a brand new season of Clone Wars coming out this
Ooh.
year. But the announcement
On
said
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. But the announcement did say, for people going to this panel, do not expect an announcement of any more series because it is not happening. That came out in the press release.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's funny.
for Clone Wars.
So let's ask this: if people are in the Chicago area and still want to go to this, is there still anything available?
Monday only.
Okay.
Monday only. But if you cannot go to this, be watching on StarWars.com. We'll also link on the ConGuy.com. But the Star Wars show, they have a special panel, and they'll be streaming all the big panels. And then after the panel's done, they'll bring people up on their stage and kind of re-interview them. I watched a whole lot of it in the last one. It was a lot of fun. Have you guys seen any of I love Star Wars Celebration. It's so great.
Yeah.
Oh, anything else? Oh, I think Harrison Ford will show up. And I think George...
I think Harrison Ford will show up if he feels like it, because he kind of just does whatever he wants.
And I think George Lucas will show up because this is him bidding farewell to his beloved 9-episode Skywalker
You think
saga.
so?
Yeah. He came to the last one.
Huh. It could be.
And I think nobody will mention any of the standalone films.
They
well,
already have
there's a
panel.
solo thing.
There's
Of
a
course they
solo
will.
No,
panel.
That's a big
going
thing to
forward.
mention.
Going forward.
Right?
Oh, you
Okay.
mean more standalone
More.
films?
I think they're done.
Well, I mean, Bob Iger said as much after Solo did not.
Which
as
is
Solo
baloney.
underperformed.
Which is baloney because both Rogue One and Solo were awesome. I like them better than the anthology, the new episodes
too.
8 and 9. Or 7 and 8.
I
think-
like 7.
Controversial opinion.
8, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I didn't
I
hate
think
it.
The Last Jedi haters basically,
Oh, yeah.
specifically targeted Solo to let Disney corporate know their displeasure.
I'm fine with The Last Jedi. I'm fine with the anthology films. I just liked Rogue One and Solo better because I like the films that take place in the same time period as the original trilogy because that's my favorite.
Yep, I do
Sorry.
too.
Makes
I like the
sense.
original time. I agree. All right, any other... We do have to end. We have to end. Anything else? Because
It's
they're
Like,
yelling
we
at us
need,
right
yeah,
now.
I was like, don't add any
Yeah.
more.
If you do not yet have tickets to Star Wars Celebration, you can still get Monday tickets, which it's the celebration of the Phantom Menace, which sometimes gets a lot of shade thrown at it.
And deserves it.
It deserves it, but you know what? It's going to be great as far as like celebrating that film. All the cast are there. We do have to wrap up. I'm so sorry. My name is Jim Frye. I am the managing editor here at theconguy.com and the Con Guy Comic Con Prep Show. Thank you guys for joining us, and I want everyone else to tell us where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Derek Sams. You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
I'm Katie. You can find me on Instagram at Katie's Fairy Tale. That's where I post all my cosplay adventures.
And what are you dressed as right now?
I'm dressed as Sabrina. I said it earlier.
come
yeah.
on.
Brad was wanting to know. He missed the
Oh,
first part of
gotcha.
the show.
Okay.
Pay attention, Brad.
The prequels are unwatchable as films, but I like the idea of them. My name is Ben Kliewer. You can find me at BenKliewer on all social media. I will still watch them.
Yes.
They're just unwatchable films. Anyway,
Thomas Parham at TomDaveLA, ThomDavela, and also on the Flix66 podcast, FLIX66. You can find us on iTunes.
Order 60.
And what is the Flix podcast?
It's a bi-weekly screen studies podcast. We talk about television and films.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm Cheeseman on the Couch. You can find me on Twitter at CheeseOnCouch and also on theconguy.com.
And that is all we have for this week, except for I'm going to say I did like the Revenge of the Sith duel, of the lightsaber duel.
The
It was
lightsaber duels are great.
fantastic. I think Steven Spielberg had a big hand in that final one, though. But anyways, guys, thank you for joining us this week. Be watching our coverage all weekend of Star Wars Celebration. It's going to be fun. And be looking for our post about WonderCon all this week. See you guys soon.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.